Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to Straight Betting. 0-2 day on here yesterday. Went 1-2 overall. Had a late ad that won. But overall, a very crappy betting day yesterday. I'm going to quick recap the plays, and then I have 3 plays for today, and hopefully we can do a little bit better than yesterday. But anyways, guys, Tyler Hero over 10.5 rebounds and assists. He had 7 assists and only 3 rebounds. Look, man, I said on the video, if you could bet the 5.5 assists, bet it. But since I do share plays and they have to be widely available, I added rebounds and assists, right? Rebounds are the rebound part of it was just, hoping for normal rebounding variance. And we did not get that as he only had 3. But yeah, the assist part of it was definitely there. And yeah, it's just unfortunate on that one, right? But at the same time, I feel like it was a pretty good read and, I'd play it again. Aaron Nesmith, like I said, I wasn't watching the game. I'm not exactly sure what happened to him. I know he had 4 fouls and he didn't play after the third quarter. Obviously, guys, it was a blowout, and that's always like a big risk when you're taking an over on a player against OKC in OKC, but really against OKC in general. But yeah, overall, thought Nesmith was going to have better volume. I actually really loved Nesmith and all the numbers behind the play. Sometimes the numbers just don't come to fruition, and I can live with that, right? So yeah, disappointing day, but it's a long season. It happens. Let's make it back today. First official play, I'm going with Draymond Green over 5.5 assists. Best price is -130 at FanDuel. First filter that I want to apply is games with Steph and games with Jimmy. As you can see here, he is over in 11 out of 18 games. And then with just Steph, he is over in 28 out of 51 games. And guys, obviously Steph Curry is a perfect assist target for Draymond Green. We have seen that forever. But there's a little bit more that I like here. First of all, guys, let's go to opponent stats over the last 10 games. We can go to opponent assists. San Antonio Spurs are up there with Philadelphia. They're just allowing so many assists. Second most in the league. And another big thing is that if we go to team shooting, where they are allowing a ton of buckets, is in the restricted area. Third most points per game in the restricted area over the last 10 games, which will be important in a little bit, but as we can see here, guys, on Draymond Green's assist chart, 42% of his points come in the restricted area, and that is like a very high number for, someone to be getting their assists in. Like, as you can see, you can go to like Jimmy Butler, right? Only 24% of his assists go to the restricted area. So I like that with Draymond. Obviously, Spurs are giving up points there. Draymond's getting assists there. It's a good little combo. Another filter that I used here was obviously we have the with Steph Curry, but opponent assists allowed overall. You can do take out the top 10 teams at allowing assists, and now the hit rate goes up to 18 out of 30, or okay, it looks like it might be a little different. Okay, 20 out of 35, but Draymond does have a couple injury games, I think a couple ejection games, so the final filter I used here was 22 plus minutes, and when you take out all those like crappy games where he either got hurt, ejected, or maybe like I think they had like a loss by 50 in there to Memphis earlier in the year. But yeah, then it hops up to over in 20 out of 31. Obviously, guys, Draymond, I'd probably have him right in the middle of minutes here, like 28, 29 or something like that. Sorry, guys. Got a little burp coming. The final thing that I have for this play, too, is that if we go to Steph Curry, right, he obviously scores a ton by off-ball screen. I just want to see how the Spurs defend off-ball screens. And as you can see, they rank 22nd, so they are allowing the 9th most points on the year to off-ball screens as well. Obviously, guys, we've seen Draymond a million times. He has the ball at the top of the key. There's a million screens being ran. I'm sure a lot of them are going to Steph. A lot of them are ending up in cuts to the basket to the restricted area where we know the Spurs are allowing a ton of points. Draymond gets a lot of assists there. So, yeah, I think that this number is a little bit too low. Probably would make it 6.5. Second play, I'm going with Jacoby Walter over 1.5 threes. And if you guys know me, you know that I hate betting on these tanking teams. But I do feel pretty comfortable betting on Jacoby Walter here, just given that he is a rookie, right? He's a rookie. I think he was a first-round pick. I could be wrong. I'm very confident he was a lottery pick. But Jacoby, he has played 30 minutes in each of the last 2 games, and I fully expect that to continue, right? Like, why the hell would you not give your rookie, your high draft capital pick or like a ton of minutes in games like this? So 30 minutes in each of the last 2 games. I'm going to project him for 29 here. And this one I had to dig in the mud to find. But if we go to opponent 3-pointers attempted allowed, but actually before I do that, let's quick look at Philly, right? So we got opponents catch and shoot frequency over the last 10 games. Very, very high. Jacoby, for the most part, is a catch and shoot guy. Philly's along the second highest catch and shoot frequency. If we go to catch and shoot 3-pointers attempted, second most, makes allowed, second most. Philly's just giving up a ton of catch and shoot threes, stuff like that. Now the filter that I applied here is opponent 3-pointers attempted, bottom half of the league, right? So Philly obviously near the absolute bottom of this, especially when it comes to catch and shoot, which is his form of like threes instead of pull-ups off the dribble, stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, I had to dig in the weeds here to find this. He is averaging 20.2 minutes in the sample size, and he is averaging 3.7 3-pointers attempted in the sample as well. So obviously, like I said earlier, guys, my minute projection for him is 29 minutes. Like I said, probably think it's going to be 30 like the last 2 games, but just put it at 29. So when you do the math on this, per 29 minutes against teams bottom half of the league in 3-pointers attempted allowed, he is averaging 5.3 3-pointers attempted. So yeah, guys, just given that Philly is like bottom of the barrel, and maybe like he gets a little more stuff ran for him because it's the end of the year and stuff like that, I do have him shooting 5.5 threes. Obviously, you can't shoot 5.5 threes, but yeah, so I think like 3-pointers attempted 5 to 6 is probably going to be in the range that we see here. And obviously, when that's the case, 5 to 6 3-pointers attempted, I mean, obviously, he's going to go over more than that. That's just kind of basic math, but he is over in 6 out of 7. We could even expand it a little bit, 5 to 7, then it's 8 out of 9. Maybe bring it back to 4 out of 7. It's going to drop a little bit. Yeah, 63.2%. But guys, the main point here is that, you know, this is plus money, right? This is plus 130 at FanDuel. So, yeah, it's a great matchup and a great price. Price is probably the biggest thing playing into it, to be honest. But yeah, I think he's going to shoot 5 or 6 threes. Should be pretty quality looks. Like I said, Philly's defense has been atrocious, especially at defending the catch and shoot threes. So yeah, just think that this price is off. I think anything at plus money is probably a little bit off here. I think that, you know, this has like a 55-60% chance of winning. Before I give out the third play, if you do enjoy this type of content, just make sure to drop a like, sub to the channel. Appreciate it a ton. Okay, guys, we're going back to my favorite player. Back in Josh Hart, over 16.5 PA. Not my favorite player, one of them though, for sure. And he kind of screwed us over against the Clippers in actually like a similar matchup. But guys, Portland defends Josh Hart with Donovan Clingan. They put Tamani Kamara on Karl Anthony Towns. And obviously, guys, Donovan Clingan, he is one of the least mobile centers in the league. And he's not going to guard him, you know, at the perimeter and stuff. So he's going to be pretty much wide the hell open all game. As you can see here, if you look at where I'm hovering over against Portland, he did shoot the ball 14 times. He had 15 potential assists. He ended with 20 points and assists only. Just that's mostly because he shot so inefficiently from the floor. But guys, if you look at this here, right? So like I said, 15 potential assists. So we're going 10 to 20, putting it smack dab in the middle. 14 field goal attempts. Even like this isn't exactly smack dab in the middle, but you know, it's like 10 to 17. So I mean, when he has like that type of usage, right? I mean, he's literally over in 14 out of 14 games. So like I said, that 15 potential assist stuff, that 14 field goal attempts, I mean, that's amazing volume for Josh Hart and this 19.5 PA line. And also on top of that, guys, I mean, Deuce McBride played in that game, Campaign played in that game. Now they're running like DeLon Wright, who I actually bet on last game, and he came through, thankfully. But I mean, that dude doesn't do anything on offense. He'll catch and shoot every once in a while, but he's not getting any usage. It's just going to be more to Josh. And like I said, man, he's going to be guarded by Clingan, so it's going to be wide open. That's actually good for his assists too, because you know Josh Hart does his own thing sometimes. So he might be wide open for 3 and just not look at the rim, but they'll flow into a handoff. Clingan will be in drop coverage. Bridges can easily just take pull up. OG, same with him. You know, he's just going to touch the ball more, just given that he's going to be wide open. And like there's no one else on the Knicks really, especially like they're down so many ball dominant people right now. And of course, guys, given that they have no depth, I mean, he played 42 minutes last game against the Bucks. That was the first game without Campaign, without Deuce McBride. So we know how Tibbs is, right? But I mean, Josh is probably going to be, you know, around the 40-minute mark, I would assume. Anyways, guys, make sure you enjoy your Sunday. Hopefully you guys have a good one, and I'll see you back tomorrow.